Okie dokie. Hey, what's up? It's your friends from up the boards because holy fuck, hockey is coming back finally. We've waited too long for this.
Yep,
I'm Yusuf,
I'm Tyler.
and the season starts in a few days.
That it does.
Exciting.
Can't believe it. Honestly, I'm surprised I made it this far without hockey.
I know. We've made it this far. We get a full season again. It's gonna be great. It's
Regular full season too, man. Like divisions,
regular,
traveling,
yeah,
the whole.
everything. It's gonna be so
There's
exciting.
32 teams now.
There are 32 teams. Seattle is
The
making its
Coyotes look
debut.
fantastic with their New Jersey or their old New Jerseys,
They
whatever we
they
call
look fantastic physically. They don't look as fantastic on the ice though.
them. Well, their
Yeah,
style
I mean,
matters.
they look okay. Anyways,
We got outdoor hockey this year. There's a lot of cool shit
yeah,
this year. We're
we got
getting
the
back
West
to
Coast
life.
coming back. Everything's coming back
I
more
got
normal.
Stadium Series tickets.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I already bought them.
Oh, nice. Ah, man. The Olympics are happening in February.
Yep.
That's exciting. But
So this podcast can be active. We're gonna be busy.
oh yeah, whenever we find time, we are going to be as busy as we possibly can be with this fucking thing. On that note, it's time for our favorite time of the year, and that is predicting who the hell's getting out of what division.
Yep.
Now that everything is back to normal.
The best part is the season hasn't even started yet, and there's already drama and festivities going on.
Yep, but of course there is because it's hockey and there has to be
It's the
some
NHL.
the NHL. There has to be some kind of weird shit. Yeah, like especially considering the very wild free agency period we had in the off season period. The off season may be a little quieter than most years, but the free agency really shook a lot of things up, which
Oh yeah.
we'll see how it pans out this year. Where do you want to start, Tyler? East or west?
Oh, let's
Do
do
we want to start with our division,
West.
or do we want to start with the chaos
Let's
divisions?
let's start with the West and work our way in. I'm gonna keep track of who we have.
All right. Do we
Our
want to
predictions.
do Central or do we want to do Pacific right now?
Let's start. Let's work West to East. Let's keep it
Okay, so
easy.
Pacific it is first.
All right, fire. Let's see what we got here.
Let's get these teams out here, shall we?
Yep. So we have the Anaheim Ducks,
Woo,
the Calgary Flames,
woo.
the Sharks,
Oh no.
the Kings, the Oilers, the
Woo,
Kraken, the Canucks,
woo.
and the Golden Knights.
Uh, long story short, this is Vegas's division to lose.
I agree. Um, so I do you want to give me bottom up? Do we want to work on this together? What are we thinking here?
You know what? Let's work on this one together.
Yeah, let's be a team. Let's do a team
Let's
this
do
year.
a
Let's
team
be.
this year, yeah, because we've
We
learned in these
constantly
past
pit
seasons
against each other.
we get a little too chaotic, and only one of us can
Absolutely.
either be somehow right or horribly wrong.
So yeah, let's be wrong together.
Let's exactly. That's what
Actually,
we're
we're
gonna
pretty
do.
good at this. All right, so we'll have the Knights at the top. That feels correct.
I don't think there's any other team that could possibly stand up to the Knights at this point in the Pacific.
This is the sad thing. I actually think the Kraken will make the playoffs. I think they're going to be third.
I think that okay, let's work. You know what? Let's
Well,
work on
look
the
at the
Knights.
rest of division. All right, look at the rest of division and tell me
Okay.
who else is going to. The Oilers.
Okay. So okay,
This
if we
is a
have
terrible division.
it is the Pacific Division sucks.
My gosh, I did not
So
realize
bad.
that.
Okay, I'm thinking
So
if
The Knights win. Like let's call it as it is. Like
there's no way the Knights don't win that division. Like
okay,
that whole Pacific Division is basically fucking like their feeder for that team. They're just
I
gonna
mean
be feeding the Sharks as many points as they can.
the safe thing is the Sharks and Ducks are like bottom two. We just got to figure out where they fall. I would put the Kings at 6. I still think they're well on their rebuild.
Yeah, I think the Ducks I put at 7 and the Sharks I put at 8.
That's fair. I think John Gibson will keep them
Exactly, John Gibson's the only
content.
one that's gonna keep them alive. I think this is the year that Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale are going to be playing a little more than a few games, so
Yep.
that will make a bit of an impact.
Yeah.
And the Sharks are fucked. So
All right, now we got the 3 Canadian teams: Canucks, Oilers, Flames. Where do we think they should fall?
okay, so what do we have? So we have Sharks at 8, Ducks at 7, Kings at 6.
Yep, and then Kraken also. I have them currently at 3, but that is open for debate.
So we have Vegas at 1, so then 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is a crapshoot. I mean, I don't see the Canucks having another. I don't think they're going to be terrible, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think I could see them at 5. Actually, I think the Flames are worse than the Canucks.
So here's the problem. I think for me, I have it's Vegas 1, Seattle 3, probably, or I think 3.
I had. This is the sad truth. I had Knights, Oilers, Kraken. Top 3.
Would make the most sense at 2.
Yeah. They can't stop shit. I love Mike Smith, but they're bad. But they can outscore anyone.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about having, literally the greatest player in the world paired with one of the other greatest players in the world. You have Nugent Hopkins on the wing. You have a young Kyler Yamamoto who's doing very good and might have a breakout season. Jesse Puljujarvi is doing work this year, which is going to be great. And they got fucking Zach Hyman, who already has been showing he's working great with McDavid.
Now their defense probably has gotten a little bit worse.
I mean, the defense looks questionable. Cody.
And then goaltending. I mean, yeah, they lost Ethan Bear. Goaltending is old.
Yeah, goaltending's old, so it's going to be a big problem.
I don't. Now the weird thing is, I would never actually say the goaltending has been their problem. Mike Smith has played, despite what fans might actually think, they've done fine.
He's just old.
Yeah. So I think it's Sharks bottom, Ducks 7, Kings 6, Flames 5, Canucks 4. You liking this? I think Oilers are second for sure, and I think Knights are in 1. So I think it's like maybe 3 and 4 where I have debates.
Unless Vegas just somehow blows up, I don't see them placing below first place.
Yeah, because I kind of was going to be ballsy and say they wouldn't, and now that I've actually took 10 seconds to actually really look at the division, there's no way they lose. If they're not first, then there's other issues.
Right. What'd you say? You had Oilers at 5 and Canucks at 4?
No, I had Oilers at 2. I had Flames at 5, Canucks at 4. Yeah, Flames. Yeah, I actually think the Flames are going to have to hit the reset button this season.
I think they will.
I think come deadline, they're sellers, and they're going to trade the farm.
The Flames, it's going to be really iffy considering this is going to be Daryl Sutter's first full year with the team again, since he only showed up or re-showed up with the Flames latter of last year.
Yes.
Season. So it's
I don't see them.
I mean, losing Giordano's gonna hurt.
And I don't think they haven't changed much as they've swapped players with the Canucks a year ago. They haven't really changed much from there. They haven't been wow, we had a gleaming hole here. Let's address it. If anything, they lost pieces, and that's about it. So I don't know.
I think because the Canucks at least have some kind of system. It might be fucking weird, but at least there is a system there.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, that's why I have the Kraken at 3, because I feel like they actually have they have a very good goalie tandem, and their defense is great. Their weakest point is scoring, but I feel like the sad truth is if they can shut down an Oilers team, I mean there's no reason they can't take third.
Not at all.
And people are oh, the Kraken aren't going to make the playoffs. They will, because who else in that division is going to step up?
Unless the Kings decide. Well,
the Kings are the dark horse that could climb that chart, but
the Kings are at a bit of a disadvantage right now, because unless they decide to call up all their prospects, we get Akil Thomas, we get Steele, we get Alex Turcotte. The problem is Byfield's out for a while.
Yep.
He just fractured his ankle.
Yep.
So
yeah, they're taking their time on this rebuild, and I think they're okay with that. I think they should.
They should be. They have a really good prospect pool.
Exactly.
They
They
need
should
to just let nurture and like get ready to
exactly. They should not risk stupid
yeah.
things. They should let those guys develop and build
Okay,
confidence.
so then that's it. Top four: Vegas, the Edmonton Oilers, Seattle Kraken, the now 32nd team in the NHL. This should be exciting, and Vancouver.
Yep.
Okay, I
That
like
is
that.
sad.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
That works. I think I could like. I can't justify Calgary being in a playoff spot. I
Yeah,
can't.
I can't either, and I can barely even consider like the Canucks. Like, I once again they had some issues, and I don't think they didn't address any. They're in the same boat as the Flames. Like they are the same team, despite what everyone wants to
They
say.
really are the same team, except at least on the bright side. On the bright side, they did what they needed to do and keep Pedersen and Hughes for a little bit.
Yeah, I think the Canucks might swap with the Kraken, but we'll see how the season goes. I think defensively, the one is a lot more sound than the other.
Yeah, so you never know. But so there's Pacific out of the way.
All right, Central.
Oh, this is
We got some teams here, man. We got some good ones.
some teams.
All right, so we got the Coyotes, we got the Blackhawks, the Avs, the Stars, the Wild, the Preds, the Blues, the Jets.
Like the Central or like the Pacific, there's no
The Avs will take one.
where the Avs are not hostily taking first place.
I agree. I do think it's going to be a little more interesting this year. This is going to be a tight division.
Yeah, it is. Like the Avs, I think if they really get their shit going from game one, it's the first place is theirs.
I agree.
And there's no way you can stop them. That Avs team is fucking terrifying.
I agree.
Losing Philip Grubauer.
This is going to be a wild division. Oh my lord!
Every other position in that division, standings wise, even not counting the playoffs, like even the bottom two teams, who the fuck knows who's landing where?
I agree, but we have to make a prediction. I have the Coyotes at 8. I love the Yotes, I love their jerseys, but they are committing to the rebuild, so they're at 8.
Well, literally rebuild. They're about to lose their fucking building at the end of the year.
They're working on a new one. I actually read about this earlier.
Yeah, I was reading some details.
They brought back the fire jerseys. Everything will be okay. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna win the Stanley Cup, and after bringing back the Kachinas, it's all good.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
at least we have our placemats here. Okay, so we have Colorado at 1, and we have Arizona at 8. So we have that set.
I'm gonna go bold and say Stars at 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm gonna say this. I think every other team in the division has a shot. The only other team I could see landing at 7 might be the Preds.
Okay.
Or St. Louis. I just think the Stars don't have enough. Like they didn't really address their goalie issue because they had Hudobin and Bishop, so they decided to go out and get Braden Holtby. That's a choice.
That's right. Braden Holtby is a Dallas Star now.
That's a choice. They have a couple young guys who are okay, but like they haven't addressed it. They haven't really bolstered up the defense. They haven't added any scoring. So it's kind of just the Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn watching their careers train again.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I know, like, I have a buddy of mine who he loves betting, and he was telling me like, "Hey, I'm putting money on the Dallas Stars for a few games," and I'm like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And he was like, "Because Alexander Radulov can work really well if Seguin and Ben are healthy." I'm like, "Yeah, your key word there, if healthy."
Yeah, the Stars are just such a wild card. Like I'm not saying their cup run 2 years ago was a fluke, but it was definitely like a weird situation, and there's a lot going on. Like part of it was everyone was healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was healthy, and the random young guys that some of them aren't even on the team this year.
Yeah, and like just random things and weird situations and good matchups, health thing, and all that good stuff.
Standing on his head for like an entire series.
Yeah, and everyone had that piece of rest, so it's very interesting. Kind of. So, I don't know how much faith I have in the Stars. I will say this: I feel like the Wild are 4.
I can put the Wild at 4.
Okay, and I think we have Jets and Blackhawks 2 and 3. I don't know which order yet, but Oh, we're having. I have mixed feelings on this one as well, so we can talk this one through.
Hold on. Okay, I don't want to get to this yet. Let's go from bottom up. Let's keep going. If
All
we
right,
have
so we got
Dallas at
the.
7.
Do we want to do Dallas at 7?
You see, the problem
It's
is like
well,
I feel
who
like it could be Dallas or it could be like because St. Louis is like in a weird spot.
I feel like they're kind of like in that because Tarasenko's hurt. Like they got Buchnevich, which was cool, but like
Yeah.
I don't think that fixes their shit.
Yeah, it just like Tarasenko's hurt. I think I remember talking to a friend of mine about this, but I think we've come to realize that Jordan Bennington might have been a 1-year wonder.
I'm kind of with you. I
So.
definitely think the Blues missed the playoffs. I definitely have them missing.
Yeah, I.
And I also have the Preds missing as much as I want them to make the playoffs
Yeah.
for biased reasons that I live here.
Yeah, true. Okay. You know what? Let's
So
keep Dallas at 7.
I'm liking your.
I think Age is gonna catch up to him fast.
I also think the Blues would fall below the Preds in all sincerity.
So then we can have Blues at 6 and then Preds at 5.
It feels wrong, but right.
Or we could put. I know it does feel wrong, doesn't it?
But it also feels right because like the Preds got rid of a piece in. Oh my lord, who did they get to Philly?
Ryan Ellis, wasn't it?
Yes. And while Ryan Ellis was good, they had a lot of younger guys that were like ready to step up. So like I feel like while they lost, they didn't really lose. They kind of got the Pekka Rinne thing over with now, so they actually have a legit number one in Saros.
Yeah.
And the Preds always consistently have been a like competitor. So I'm not ready to pull the plug on them. I feel like they're consistently like
they're in the fight.
They're always there.
They're just kind of like hanging around. I don't know. The Predators are.
It's weird because they're not a high scoring team. They're like such a defense goals tending team.
They're very blockade heavy.
So I kind of like I feel like yeah, and I'm kind of thinking like it's really weird. Like I went to their practices and like all their defensemen are huge and all their like forwards are like tiny. It's like they're just like speed up front and just like build a wall in the back.
Yeah, pretty much.
I kind of see the Blues tapering off. I think this is kind of like the.
I think so. I mean, like the Blues, there are some like. There's some like legitimately okay, maybe good-looking prospects they have coming out of St. Louis, but
I just don't see them.
Enough.
I feel like they have just they're old. I just feel like that's where they're at. They're just old.
They're not getting younger, and like even then, like Bennington is still a solid goalie, except now we know he has a bit of a temper, and people know how to piss him off.
Oh, exactly. And I think he's kind of. I don't know. I feel like, as you said, he's 1-year wonder. I don't think he's been bad the past year or two, but I don't think he's like that was a special year.
Yeah, 2019 was definitely a special year for them.
Yeah, it's not like wow, Vasilevsky is good. Like Vasilevsky is consistently good. Like yeah,
it's I don't know. It's a weird situation with St. Louis, but
Bennington reminds me a lot of Holtby. I'm serious about this. Like he's always above average. And like Holtby had a really good year. The Caps won the cup, but I would never say he's an elite goalie.
No, he's maybe in like the tier below elite. He's like good, but almost elite, but just not elite.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
Okay, so we have that. We have St. Louis 6 and Nashville at 5. Now we just got to figure out the remaining 3.
Wild, Blackhawks, and Jets. I kind of have a very strong opinion about one of them.
It's the Blackhawks, isn't it?
Yes, I have my list kind of put in place at the moment. I'm curious where you put these.
I would. Okay. Jets at 2. I think makes the most sense.
Thank you. All right, we're on a full agreement there. I'm happy with that.
The most logical sense.
You mean the Winnipeg Connor Hellebucks?
Exactly, and even then, they are actually a consistent team.
Yeah, I also think Dubois, now that like things have kind of like he had his first year there, he seems ready for the adventure this season. I think they're actually
Yeah, I think
Gonna tighten up.
is ready to do things now, so it should be promising in Winnipeg. I think it'll actually be good.
I agree.
Okay, here's my thing.
Okay, I'm. Tell me your answer first.
Personally,
Who do you have at 3?
I would flip Minnesota and Chicago.
So Minnesota at 3.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
because look, the Blackhawks are still a very weird team in that, like, yeah, they still have like Kane and Taves, and Kane does fine. He still produces. Taves is finally coming back. You have Brinket, Kirby Doc. You've got now both the Jones brothers. By the way,
Now,
they give Seth Jones too much money.
I mean, we have our opinion on
We have our
Seth's
opinion,
ability
and
as
we've
a
talked about this on
defenseman.
a previous episode. Oh god, and I think like the biggest wild card, and I love him despite being a Red Wings fan, is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
He's the biggest wild card of this whole team.
Oh, and like the thing is, I think he's going to do fine, but this is not going to be like the Brady to the Buccaneers thing where it's like, all right, let's get a championship. This is not like, yeah, this is not that team.
Marc-Andre Fleury, when he shows up, he shows up. We've all seen this. Everyone knows this, right? Even now in his older age, the man's like 37 years old.
36.
36. Okay, almost 37. Yeah, he just won the Vezina last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he did amazing for Vegas last year.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is Fleury, while still being a fucking nightmare psycho of a goaltender, had a very good defense core in front of him in Vegas.
I'm with you.
Good defense core. Chicago doesn't kind of have that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much Fleury is willing to put himself on the line to just pull this team on his back.
I don't think Seth Jones and Marc-Andre Fleury are going to take you from like a rebuilding bottom 10 team in the league and take you from like here to there. Like they're just not going to do that.
Right.
And like that's kind of where it's like if you look at where they've been the past couple of years, they really haven't changed much outside of that. And it's now like they also lost Suter to some other team named the Detroit Red Wings. So it's like I feel like ultimately I don't think they got that much better. They got better, but they didn't like take a leap.
They got better, but it's gonna take them a few more years for that. Like the effects of what has happened this offseason will not show until the next like maybe 2 years. Maybe.
Yeah. And once again, Fleury's fantastic. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. Like, dude is honestly one of the best goalies we probably will ever see in our like time being alive.
Like first ballot Hall of Famer, everything, but like
he's not in his prime. And he's just getting older. And like I feel like if you're a team in the middle of a rebuild trying to expedite the process and be like, all right, like let's go for it, one more cup for everyone. And it's like that's not how you do a rebuild. They already said they're doing the rebuild. They even sent out a letter. They did exactly what New York did, except they didn't take the like full 4 years. Like New York took 4 years of missing the playoffs, and they were even rebuilding. They started selling off pieces 2 years prior to that. Like when you really think about how long the Rangers took to do a rebuild, like they committed. And the fact is, now you look at like Chicago, and they're like, okay, we did like a year or two of this. Like
half committed to it.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we did like 2 years of this. We really didn't do much. And like, let's bring in Mark Conner. Yeah, we're done. That's like, no. You're back with a 30-some-year-old goalie, and you're still not ready for the playoffs. And you traded a lot of assets to get Seth Jones, who is a defensive liability.
Yes, defensive liability, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. He can score.
He can score.
But you're not helping out Flower on the back end, who you just traded for.
Plus, I don't see Chicago like Jones. Jones is great offensively, and if you need him for the grind, he's there. You need him to play 40 minutes, he's got you easily. But I don't see Chicago trying to be that kind of team. I don't think they're trying to play the long game here.
No.
Right. So that's the issue with Chicago.
I think they have a lot of issues internally as well, and I think they're trying to just
Oh,
use this
that's
to
a
kind of
whole
take the media. They're getting big names to take the media heat off. In my opinion, there's the
Yeah.
whole. I have a lot of theories. Chicago's an interesting team to watch this year.
Chicago's been very, very fun to watch. Not just for the team, but just for the explosion of the front office if things come to fruition.
I hate to say this. I think Arizona actually might have a more sound front office at the moment, and that's scary.
Ironic, ain't it?
It is really weird to me.
It's really weird.
All right,
Okay.
so let's review the list. We have.
We're not done.
Oh, we're not done.
We gotta figure this out with Minnesota because
I
I
I'm
don't
fine with them at third.
so am I, but at the same time, it's like
What's your hold up? What
goaltending.
do you mean? They got Cam the Man Talbot.
I hate you. That's true.
Oh, dude, man was a legend.
Like, this.
But
year,
I will say he has defensemen in front of him.
this is true. He does actually have.
It does not matter, dude. You could put literally like a bag of flour in the goal there. Like they have some good defense. Well, despite what people might think, dude, Spurgeon's fantastic. Dumba's great. Yeah,
great despite all the shit he.
Burdeen's not terrible.
No, not at all.
Like they're okay. They're older, but they're okay. I fully trust them.
And then scoring wise, you have everything you could ever want.
They have. It doesn't matter, dude. They got Kaprizov. They don't need anything else. They don't need anything else.
I think Matt Boldy is going to be on the team this year.
Kevin Fiala actually looked like a hockey player towards the end of last year.
Kevin Fiala looked great. Marco Rossi, assuming he's healthy now with the issues he's had due to COVID, he might be seeing some games this year, so we could get the Rossi Boldy Kaprizov line.
Yeah.
Which, hey, promise. But yeah, I think we can agree on. I think we can agree on Minnesota at 3.
Yeah, I think we're here for it, and I think their backup goalie also is ready to take a step up. Capo Kakkonen. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's 24. He's ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. He's that's the age. Yep. Go.
Yep. 24, 26 is when a goalie starts to find their foot in the league. I figured this out. I've gotten good at this.
I've noticed. Okay, so Central recap: we got Colorado at 1, Winnipeg at 2, the Minnesota Wild at 3, Chicago at 4, the Nashville Predators at 5, St. Louis Blues at 6, the Dallas Stars at 7, and of course the Arizona Coyotes at 8th place. Which
that's it.
Doesn't seem off to me. Seems fine. Sounds about right.
Yep. So. Yeah. Do you want to do your division or my division next? I'm fine to do mine. Save yours for last.
I mean, I think if we're going left to right, I think it makes sense to do the Atlantic. Or maybe we should do the Metro? I don't know.
Let's do the Metro.
Because I'm trying to figure out which is a worse crapshoot because both are fucking.
I could pretty much do the Metro from heart, or not the Metro, the Atlantic from heart.
Okay.
Yeah. The Metro is a little more complex.
Well, the Metro is the same problem we had last season, when you take a lot of really good teams, throw them in one division, and say, "Hey, here's 4 pieces of food. You're gonna have to kill each other for it. Have fun."
So let's do the Atlantic.
Okay.
Let's do let's do this one. Yeah. All right. So let's just go through the teams for another reminder. We got the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, the Sabres, the Detroit Red Wings, or as I like to call them, the Detroit Yusufs. We got the Florida Spencer Knights.
Yep.
I'm literally going to put Spencer Knight on my list. We got the Tampa Bay, the Cheaters,
Stanley Cup champions,
the Tampa Cheaters. Yep. Let's see. Who else do we got? Or sorry, uses the league rules to their advantage.
Montreal and Ottawa.
Yeah, Montreal and Ottawa. Oh yeah, those are good teams to talk about. Yeah. Seeing as Montreal's exciting already.
So fun.
All right.
Where do we start? Tampa's first, right?
Hold on. I mean, Tampa's first. I mean, let's be.
No, you know what? Let's start bottom. Let's start from the bottom and actually work our way out. Let's not move around this time. I want to start from the bottom because this is gonna get fucking stupid.
Okay. I mean, there's an obvious last, right?
It's Buffalo.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah. I think. Okay, I think it's safe to say the Sens are probably at 7. Actually, I'm going to put Montreal at 7. Okay. Talk me through why I should not put Montreal at 7.
No,
Give me two good.
I genuinely want to hear your logic behind this. And
Okay.
give me a point saying Carey Price is currently fucking off.
I'm not going to. I'm going to say your starter is Jake Allen.
That is very true.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair. Your starter is Jake Allen.
Yeah.
Your owner literally just flat out said, I might not re-sign our GM. That's another good point.
When was this? I missed this.
He said it like 2 days ago. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to re-sign our GM. Yes.
Oh, I missed this shit. Oh
yeah.
my God.
He wants too much money. And like, he's like, they're like, no, like you haven't done a good enough job. And he's had other issues. So they've literally already said they might get rid of him. Let's see if I can find it for you.
Great. Yeah, please do.
Pretty sure you sent it to me.
So I don't remember, man.
There's so much shit. I send you a lot. Holy Christ.
Anyway. Okay, so yeah, Jake Allen being the starter is a very good point. What are your other points? I'm like, other than the fact that, you know, they casually decided to not keep Philip Deneau, and the fact that due to the powers of pettiness, they just let Kotkaniemi go.
Okay. Yeah, let's start there. You lose a player. Now, he was kind of all over the map. What? I think I just found it. Oh, no, it's Carey Price. Give me a minute. I'll find it later. The point being, so, okay. You now lose a guy, which that fine. Carolina had a laugh. It's enjoyable. Right. But, like, they haven't addressed anything. They haven't, like, brought up anyone. They haven't gotten any new, really exciting pieces. They kind of kept the same thing. But hold up. Let me help you. Look at the rest of the division. Yeah. Okay, like, that's what it is. So, like, I mean, pretty confident to say the bottom 4 teams. Bottom team is the Buffalo. The next 3, I'm pretty confident in saying are these teams, not in this order. I think it's going to be Montreal, the Senators, and the Red Wings. And I think you can kind of figure out where they go. I think the Senators might be a safe 7, and we can move Montreal up to 6 or 5.
Personally.
But I don't, once again, I liked Jake Allen. I followed that man from juniors up. I had a weird faith in him. But, dude, he is not a starter.
I know from fucking school that for some reason liked Jake Allen.
Hey, his first few years in the Blues, lights out fantastic. Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
I was so cocky about him, and then he absolutely just brought me disappointment. Now, this is when he's going to bounce back and have, like, full just takes them to the cup. Yeah, but
that's not going to happen.
So where do you want to put these guys? Who do you want at 7? Do you want yourself, the Senators, or Montreal? Also, Montreal last year was in a very easy division. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think the Sens are still worse than them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would much rather have Jake Allen than Matt Murray.
I'm all for Pierre Dorian saying like we're done with the rebuild, but at the same time, it's going to take another maybe year or 2 for this team to show.
But
also, Brady Tkachuk still doesn't have a fucking contract.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Like, I feel bad to keep bringing up the Rangers, but like when they did the rebuild, they didn't rush it. Like, you know, the Blackhawks said we're doing the rebuild. It's like, okay. And they didn't rush it. And they also never said we're done. They just kind of, they're going to let the performance speak. Yeah. Where Ottawa's like, we're done. It's like, no, that doesn't work. Like, that doesn't make you a playoff team.
Right. Like, in an offseason, the Rangers got Lafreniere and fucking Panarin, but they never said we're done the rebuild.
Yeah, and then like they still like right now they're like the room like we're still not done because like they said the goal is playoffs. That is the goal this season.
Right.
And like that's like it's like they haven't said we're done yet though. Where like Ottawa said we are done. And as you said, Tkachuk doesn't have a contract, and you have Matt Murray and Anton Forsberg.
Bias aside,
Suns at 7.
A little complicated. I think I'm okay. So the Senators have like all their own problems with Detroit. It's like, all right, what do we got? We got
you guys addressed. I heard that. That does hurt.
Verano's going to be out for 4 months. That might give way for Lucas Raymond to be on the team this year for a little bit
I
because
could see
he
that.
has been looking fan fucking tastic in preseason and in training camp.
I think you guys are going to shock the shit out of people. Now, you still have a terrible coach, but we're not
Oh
going to
yeah,
get into that.
I mean Jeff Blashill just but Vrana out for a while is definitely going to hurt. Lucas Raymond being on the team will be nice. I don't know how much it'll help entirely yet.
You got
Um,
Suter, dude. You're
we
fine.
do have Pius Suter on the second line center. First line, I believe, is going to be Zadina, Larkin, and potentially Lucas Raymond on the wing. Bobby Ryan might be coming back because he's
You
on
got
PTO right
Rasmussen.
now.
Dude, you guys are fine.
And Bobby Ryan looks good. Defense wise, we've got Danny DeKaiser's getting old. That doesn't help. Nick Letty might give some good veteran
I forgot you had
offers.
him.
Yeah, so did I for a second. But the only reason I remember is because he's going to be potentially on a line with Moritz Seider.
You also have Alex Nedeljkovic.
We do have Alex
Now,
Nedeljkovic.
he's coming from a team that had a really good defense in front of him.
He was coming from a team that had quite possibly the best fucking defensive core in the entire league.
Yeah, and now he's on Detroit. Now, I still have a lot of faith in him, and I have a lot. He was another guy I followed a lot of his career. A lot of faith in him. And I actually have a lot of faith in like the veterans guys, like kind of helping out the young guys. I actually could see you guys doing better than the Senators. I could confidently put you at 6.
I can semi comfortably put us at 6. I think just based on how the team is looking, like I'd be shocked if we somehow finish 5th. I'll genuinely be shocked.
Now we're putting Montreal at 5, right? That seems fair.
Yeah, I think that seems fair. But
Okay.
Sixth or 7th right now is realistic.
I think you're further along than the Senators.
Yeah, especially depending on how we want to be looking at the next offseason, because 2022 is going to be the Shane Wright draft.
Yeah.
And
so you guys want to finish low.
Yeah, we want to potentially finish low for the sake of if we can maybe sneak into the fucking draft lottery and get Shane.
Yeah, could you imagine sneaking into the draft lottery and getting a first overall pick? Imagine
making the playoffs, kind of, and still managing to get the first overall pick.
Yeah,
imagine doing that while another fucking team literally finishes the lowest point total in cap era history and doesn't get the first overall pick. What kind of fucking ass?
And imagine those two teams, like they have like 2 friends follow each of those teams respectively. Yeah, wouldn't that be wild?
I still am so angry about that.
I'm still happy as hell.
So I bet you are. I fucking bet.
All right. Well, now we got top 4 to do.
Yeah, but like last point with Detroit is like at least with Nedeljkovic and Grice still looks solid.
I agree. I think you guys have a very good. I think you're better than the Senators. I think you're better enough to take 6.
Steve Yzerman is never going to say that we're done the rebuild.
No, absolutely. He's going to do exactly what the Rangers did and never admit that.
He's going to let it grow. So Detroit, I can put it. You know what? I'll put Detroit at 6.
Now, all things serious for a minute, like what Carey Price is going through, power to him. But it does really hurt Montreal. It does.
I wish Carey Price all the best in his decisions. I hope he's okay. I hope he takes as much time as he needs to, recover and just let himself rest and get whatever help he needs. But holy shit, this is gonna hurt Montreal.
Yeah,
bad.
and I mean they kind of have to start. They also left him exposed in the expansion draft. There's a couple other things where I kind of think he wanted to go to Seattle for a fresh start.
Yeah.
He does think that. Like I said, Montreal had their wonder run last year, and they didn't win, obviously, but like,
yeah, but there was
they got there, and their division was a lot easier than it is now.
Right.
And I think there are clearly 4 better teams in front of them.
Yeah, I think like the Atlantic Division is very much going to be a fight for those not top 4 spots. The last 3 spot, like 2 to 4, is going to be a fight.
Well, then let's go for it up.
Just finishing the Montreal point, like I don't know. We'll put them at 5 for now.
I think they will
I
finish
think
at 5.
I think after we're done with the rest of the divisions, let's just look over lists and think about it for a minute.
No, absolutely.
'Cause I'm a little skeptical.
At what, them at 5 or?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like, trust me, dude. Like when you look at their division from last year, they were not in like the top spot. They were not in the second spot. Like,
They barely made it to the playoffs.
yeah, that's why like
No.
everyone's talking about how great all these guys are. It's fantastic. Like that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But like it was a shorter season. They were in a very easy division. Like let's now, granted, they did make it to the finals. Like they did play other teams.
They did play other teams and fought their way to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
They did.
So we'll come back to this. Let's go 4 up, and then we'll talk about the Metro, and we'll come back.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got? 4.
So if we have Tampa at 1, that's sad.
That is sad. I'm fine with the
That's sad.
Tampa
I don't
at 1.
see, despite them losing a good chunk of their depth in the offseason, I don't see a world where they don't finish first as well. This is honestly like these 3 divisions that we've talked about so far, like it's a unanimous number 1.
Yeah. Oh,
Across the
yeah,
board. It has to be.
100%. I think we're going to be unanimous with our number 2s as well.
Ooh.
Maybe.
4. Let's start at 4.
What's 4? And yeah, we'll go up.
Yeah. 4, I have the Bruins.
Okay, we are not going to have unanimous too. 4, I have the Leafs.
Okay. My other potential number 4 was the Leafs.
Okay, let's logic this out. So I know who your 2 is now. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what do you got for the why Bruins over Leafs?
Honestly, I don't know how. Like, okay, so here's like, I don't know. It just feels weird. Like Marchand and fucking Bergeron are still good, but they're getting older. They know they're getting older. Bergeron's talked about, this might be his last season. We don't know, right?
Yep.
They lost David Krejci because he went back to the Czech to go play. That is going to hurt a little bit.
I agree.
That's going to hurt a bit. Defense-wise, I mean, like, they're still solid on the defensive end. And then goaltending, they got Linus Ullmark, who I think is good.
I think, yeah.
I don't know how well it's going to work out. But at the same time, it's the Bruins, and they fucking somehow always find a way to make things work.
I agree.
But on the other end of that argument, I could see them being at 3 because the Bruins are like the fucking biggest wild card ever, and they could just show up all of a sudden and fucking raise hell. To go with that, you then have everyone's favorite team to laugh at, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay.
You know what? I'm putting Toronto at 4.
Okay, good. I mean that. Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves here. Freddie Anderson wasn't good enough, so you go out and you
Peter Mrazek,
who, wow, he looked great the past 2 years. As we just talked about, no offense to Nedeljkovic, I love the kid. I think Nedeljkovic is better than Mrazek, and he took Mrazek's job.
Yes.
And Toronto went out. Now, what's that? They had probably, as you said, the best D in the league in front of them. Like top full 6. Carolina had the best D. So you're taking this goalie and you're picking him up and you're throwing him with Toronto's defense. So I would argue is bottom 10.
Bottom 10. I agree they're bottom 5.
I was going to be generous. I feel like I didn't say anything bad about Buffalo today. And I was trying not to be mean to the Leafs. All right. I'm trying to be a better person,
That's true. Baby
steps. Toronto, they're bottom defense. So you're going to let Peter Mrazek get leveled like he did in his early days of Detroit.
Yep.
And you have Campbell.
At least in his early days in Detroit, Mrazek was doing good enough that he could steal us games, but he was also young and healthy.
Yeah, I don't see him stealing games. And once again, you have Campbell, who I think is okay, but I don't think either of them are like your playoff goalie. Like, so is there hope to get to the deadline and try to get a goalie?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Wow.
So
Like the at least with the Bruins, they know that if they are in a position where they can do better, they will strive for that.
Yeah.
And they will do whatever they need to beat their competition.
Yeah.
That's fine.
now I will logic my way to Boston where I have them. But we'll finish off to Toronto really quick. Like, once again, okay, fantastic. You know what? You went out, you got Nick Ritchie. You got him from Boston. You did it. You signed him as a free agent.
Yep.
Okay. You
Cool.
got Andre Kosh, or yeah, Kasha Case, whatever his
Kasha,
name
yeah.
is. Yep. Okay, cool. You got those two guys from Boston. Both guys from Boston. Good. Okay. Let's see what you did on the defense. You did nothing.
No, nah, nothing at all. They still have TJ Brody. Rasmus Sandin is probably going to be on the team this year.
Yep. You got
Morgan
Jake
Riley,
Muzzin.
as usual, is there. Jake Muzzin, maybe.
Travis Dermott.
Timothy Liljegren.
Like,
No.
they haven't fixed the issue. Now, we've talked about this a million times, so I don't feel like going off on Toronto tonight. So we'll let them slide, but they're going to be fourth. Once again, easiest division last year.
Yeah. They're probably going to be fourth.
All right,
Okay.
now let's
So,
3-2.
I'm going to guess you have Boston at 2.
I do. I'm going to explain to you why. The Krejci point I actually thought was good for like 2 seconds. I actually will give you that.
Okay.
They got, I think Taylor Hall is going to take a big step forward and not having to be the guy.
Fucking forgot about him.
He is the guy. He doesn't have to be the guy. He was the guy in Edmonton. He was the guy in New Jersey. He was the guy for 38 seconds in Arizona.
Yeah.
Now he can come to Boston. It's just like, he is like, you're a second liner.
Yeah.
He just has to show up for work and look okay.
He's a second liner. He's a second liner that if he is 100% okay, he's going to be a terrifying second liner.
Yeah, and then okay, so you go out and you say, shit, like, we lost Krejci. What do you do? Well, let's go get Eric Holla, who is not great, but fourth liner.
Yep.
That lets you have someone else come up. You still got Charlie Coyle, and then you go out and you get Nick Foligno.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, once again, you lose Nick Ritchie, but is Nick Ritchie going to consistently do that? You don't know.
No.
So you have Hall, you have Foligno, you have a couple other guys. You got Thomas Nosek, which once again, not really an elite player, but you got guys who are going to kind of fill the role. And it's Boston. They're just so well put together and organized. And then on the defense, you have their young, solid core, who's definitely one of the 10 better in the league. And then you're picking up, you had Swayman, who played out of his mind at the end of last year. And then you have Linus Allmark, who once again is quite opposite of Mrazek. You're taking a guy who's on a terrible team and putting him in front of a great defense. He literally played for Buffalo. Like, this guy had nothing going for him, and now he's on Boston.
He played for Buffalo, where his life could have just ended there. He looked good. He was probably the best player on that Sabres team.
Oh, every night, dude. He kept them in it every night when he wasn't hurt last year.
Yeah, but okay.
And also, at any point that Allmark or Swayman goes down, or it's not working out, Tuukka Rask already said he'll take the minimum. So you have him and he will only play for Boston. Yeah. So that's why I have them at 2.
Okay, fair enough.
And then the only reason I have Florida at 3 is I feel like there's a $10 million problem that'll kind of be nipping them in the butt.
There is a bit, but on the bright side, they have a $925,000 solution.
Yeah, I just hate the idea of paying it back up 10 mil. And the fact that, as you said yesterday, they want to go out and get a third string goalie is very.
Yeah, so Jeff Merrick, I believe it was reporting on 32 Thoughts with Elliot Friedman that the Florida Panthers are potentially looking to acquire Michael Hutchinson, who I thought retired, but I guess not.
No, McElhinney retired.
He did, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I like, wow, no offense to Hutch, but why?
Yeah.
Like,
now.
Okay, look, I'm gonna preface this. If you listen to us, you probably know by now that Tyler and I are like the biggest fucking Spencer Knight fans ever.
Yeah, dude. Like
for
I'm
the next
literally
season.
his jersey is still just in my cart on NHL.com. I need to buy it at some point.
I'm gonna have to also buy it at some point. But like Florida has made some moves that are actually looking good for the team.
I agree.
They managed to re-sign Barkov, so they're gonna have him for a very long time, and they need someone like Barkov for a very long
They,
time. And just
they got a Sam Reinhart.
they got a Sam Reinhart, Anton Lundell might be on the team this year, so
Yeah.
that's good. No, and then of course is like the biggest question with Florida is the goaltending, not because it's bad, but because Florida still has no fucking idea what they want. Do they want the $10 million half liability, half two-time Vezina winner and Sergei Bobrovsky to be starting, or do they want the literal child who I have reason to believe might actually win a fucking Vezina in the next 2 years in Spencer Knight?
I'm with you. The right answer, as we both agree, is Spencer Knight. Now the problem is you still have Bobrovsky signed for 5 years at $10 million. You're not going to just pay a guy 10 million to sit on the bench. Now, while that would be a sweet job, like here, you get $10 million a year to ride the bench. Like that's fantastic.
But
Um,
and it's hard.
but I feel like, yeah,
Bobrovsky really puts them. Sorry, Bobrovsky really puts them in a situation that like they don't know what the next move can possibly be, because you
well,
can't bench him because you're benching $10 million right there, right? That's $10 million you're spending on a guy just sitting there while Spencer does all the work. You can't buy him out because that is gonna hurt.
now it will hurt less than keeping him for all 5 years at 10 mil.
True.
Now, I also think part of the
It
issue
also
is
it also depends on. It also does depend on how Florida sees their growth as a team in the next 4 years. If they plan to buy out Bobrovsky, how do they see the team's trajectory in the next 4 years? They are already playoff guys. They're already a playoff team. But are they looking to try and make a deeper run?
yeah. And the other problem is you can't really trade Bob because he's got a no move clause.
Yeah. And
Now, starting in 2024, he's got to like you could trade him.
Okay.
So you got to get through 3 years, basically 2.5 years.
Yeah. But that's $30 million gone.
Now, the other thing is like everything I've been reading, like he comes and puts in the work.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's some guy. It's not like who was the guy the Oilers drafted a couple of years ago who's just an absolute shit show.
Goalie?
No, forward.
Not Puliarvi.
No, it was a Russian kid, and the guy
Oh.
like yeah, it's not that situation.
Yeah.
This is like the guy shows up and like actually puts in the work.
Right.
So as they says, like he comes on, he has a great day at camp, like and like maybe he's just the unluckiest man in the world, but like it does put them in a little bit of a pickle.
It does. But I think they do realize what they have and the fact that Spencer is ready.
Yeah.
Um.
I'd rather have a $10 million backup who, once again, he does have two Vesenas. Like the guy does have had talent. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather start the young kid and then, have the 10 million guy on the bench pissed off and like putting in the work to take his shot back.
Yeah. Exactly. And the thing is, like, hey, if he's willing to be a lot more competitive to try and get his job back, that's fine, because then Spencer's going to get more competitive, and you're going to have a great goalie tandem heading into the playoffs.
Exactly. And maybe at some point you can work up and get Bob to waive his no move clause, and maybe he'll be looking to go to a different team to be a starter.
Yeah, possibly.
Florida might not be as screwed as we think.
Florida is sort of in that like weird gray area of like they can be good, but not great.
I agree.
So I think that's where we leave Florida. So recapping the Atlantic at this point, go up 1-8. Tampa 1.
Yep.
I think we're gonna stick to Boston at 2 here.
I think that's the safe bet.
I think it's the safest bet. Florida,
As you forgot about Taylor Hall, which
exactly. I fucking forgot about fucking Taylor Hall. God damn it. Yeah, fucking Taylor Hall, man. Florida at 3 is probably the safest bet, though I could see a reality where the two flip.
I agree.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Leafs are definitely 4th.
Yeah, I'm happy you've seen the light.
For some reason, the other teams get injured and they make 3, but I doubt it.
I'm kind of rooting for the Red Wings to somehow pass Montreal and Maple Leafs and
Holy
make it.
shit! I genuinely want a
It
reality where
wouldn't be the most.
somehow,
It wouldn't be the
somehow
most wild thing in my. It would not blow me out of the water.
I'm here for a world where that fourth playoff spot is open, or I guess the other wild card spot is open in the Atlantic.
That's not going to happen. Let's be. I'm not even sure the Leafs are going to make the playoffs because of the Metro.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I keep forgetting that the playoff system is still stupid, and we have the whole
Yeah,
wild
you're
card
not
system
wrong.
where it's top three in each division and then a wild card between everyone else because it's like, meh.
Yeah,
Like
like
the top three teams are set for sure in the Atlantic. Those are your playoff teams. Are Tampa, Boston, and Florida, and then the Metro division exists.
which I guess we're at now. I've been kind of dreading this because this one's been causing me like, dude, I literally have lost a night of sleep over this. I literally like sat up the other night like doing like statistical research on this shit.
The Metro division for the last 2 to 3 years is probably the hardest division to figure out because everyone not named the New Jersey Devils wants to kill each other.
I now I think we could put the Devils at 8, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna actually have the Jackets over them.
You,
I don't know why, but I feel like they're going to be. I weirdly have faith in a lot of the guys Columbus has drafted.
Columbus, dude, holy shit!
Yeah,
Columbus is good with their prospects.
their draft room every year blows me a lot of just like, who the fuck is this guy? And like, you start watching, you're like, wow, I want to know who their scouts are because they're
I
good.
remember,
Like,
because preseason and training camp talk has been pretty big this year because a lot of the prospects from 2019, 2020 are showing up at camp. And I'll never forget 20. I think it was 19 or 20.
yep,
2019.
there's a lot from your draft. Yeah, yep,
Was he the last draft? Chittikov?
yeah, well, yeah, it was
Yeah. Okay. Right.
because I remember watching and my parents thought it was hysterical. Good, like the guy had no footage.
Yeah. At 21st overall, I believe they drafted Igor Chittikov.
And like
And
the broadcast had nothing to say.
fucking Sam Constantino, who this man has notes on prospects in the 2025 draft. This man has an entire notebook for prospects like 5 years ahead, and he had fucking nothing on this guy.
I remember like I think it was on NHL Network or might have been NBC had the draft on, and like literally they're like, "What do you got for us?" They're like, "Yeah," and it's like, "Well," and it's like, "Yeah," and then like they showed like they had no video clips, and like it was already showing the next draft group. It's like, you're not gonna just talk about the dude.
I remember watching the Sportsnet broadcast here in Toronto of it, and it was just like radio silence for all of 2 minutes,
Yep.
while you could hear Elliot Friedman stuttering, trying to figure out what to say, and Sam Constantino was sitting right beside him, looking at him like,
Yeah,
"He's a forward."
it was beautiful. I love the Jackets because you're like, who the hell is Olivier Texier? He's some French kid. It's like, wow, he's really good. Like,
good.
Olivier Bjorkstrand. Wow, look at this guy. Like,
I don't know what the fuck the Jackets are smoking, but it works.
I'm here for it. Honestly,
I'm
I'm cool with it. So we'll have them at 7.
I think the
I think it's
Jackets
fair.
too. The bright side with the Jackets is Patrick Laine is really finally starting to find his groove with the Jackets. Which should
Yeah.
be okay for him. But the other thing too is it's a good thing that Korpisalo and Merzlikins are still, reliable.
Yeah.
So
I I have 5 figured out for this division. I do not have 1 through 3. So I know who I have.
Who's 6?
I have the Flyers at 6.
Okay, I can see that.
I don't like Carter Hart. I actually still have faith in. I have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah.
I do not have faith in Alain Vigneault. I actually.
I know you don't. I know.
I'm gonna actually agree with Robin. Like, not Robin Leonard did not say this, but I do agree. He's a dinosaur, dude. Like, Alain Vigneault has not updated his tactics.
No, not at all.
Like, it's like, dude, like, come on.
Like the Alain Vigneault we saw coaching the fucking Vancouver Canucks is the same in Alain Vigneault we see today.
Yeah, and it's like he's just an old school coach, and it's just the league's changed. It's kind of like watching Pete Carroll at the Seahawks. It's kind of like do more.
Pete Carroll is still Pete Carroll is still a fine coach nonetheless, but he's old.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, and they both have talented rosters. They should do a lot better, but they're just not.
They're
So
just lacking. Yeah.
I'm kind of Flyers at 6, also because the rest of the division is the division.
Yeah. So
So this is 5 and 4. I have 2 options, and 1 through 3 I have 3.
okay. Five. What do we have left?
Canes, Islanders, Rangers, Pens, Caps. So
Fuck
I
that. Never mind. I have no idea anymore.
I have Caps at 5. I'm going to explain why in a very beautiful answer. But 3 very beautiful answers.
Please do.
Ovechkin's out to start the year because he hurt himself.
He hurt himself. That's right.
Any Caps fan say he did not, you're a lying sack of shit. He hurt himself. He skated right into the dude.
Yep.
It was all on him. 2,
Ooh.
you literally had your star goalie prospect, Ilya Samsonov. You've been singing the praises of this man. Now he's here.
Mhm.
Now he hurt himself on an ATV last year. He's done all these other things. He's ticked off management to the point where they traded for the guy they let go in the expansion draft.
Yep.
Vitek Vanacek, because you have that little faith in Samsonov.
Man.
You only sent him to a 1-year extension.
Yep.
So those are my 2 big reasons. My third is I also just Peter Laviolette, fantastic defensive coach.
Mhm.
The Washington Capitals do not have the defensemen.
They have John Carlson. That's all they got.
Once again, he coached Nashville. Nashville's a very defense-based team,
Mhm.
small.
Yep.
You're not going to have a high. You're not going to have a guy scoring 50 goals on Nashville. You're just not.
No. Yeah.
But everyone's going to get 10.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be it's going to be spread out throughout the lines. It's going to be really defense first hockey, and the Capitals are built for offense only.
Yeah.
And like it's just, in my opinion, it's a weird match, and
Is.
that's why I have them. I just don't see them with everyone else in the division. I don't see them hitting it.
I feel that
unless they hit the second wild card.
Me the most in that, like, they were literally singing this kid's praise in his draft year.
The comp was Vasilevsky.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, granted, Sebastian Kosa's comp is Vasilevsky as well, but Kosa's only 18, and he's not going to be on the Red Wings for another probably 2-3 years.
He also didn't flip an ATV on himself and like curse out management.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Samsonov got suspended from the team for things that he said to them and other outside issues.
Yeah.
The team suspended, not the league, the team. That's not a good sign.
No. The Samsonov that, like, Washington is that weird team, and that, like, by the way, speaking of Washington, let's just talk about this for a second since we're on the topic of them. They're the one team I always see where they're like, they will draft a kid and they'll be like, this kid's the next big deal. And then that kid either just doesn't show up or has like a good season and then just
so once again, I grew up around that area. So I'm going to tell you the 3 players who I heard way too much about. Actually, I can name a bunch, but we're going to focus on 3 of the most recent ones. The 3 most recent ones I heard about were Samsonov.
Yep.
Kuznetsov.
Yep.
Which, outside of his 1 year, what has he done?
Coke.
And the other, good answer. And the other one, Alexander Alexiev. He's 21 right now.
Was Alexiev that defensive prospect that they said was going to be like the next fucking future?
Yeah, they said he's going to come in right as they draft him. He's going to come in and be like a star first line defenseman. He's 21. I'm sorry, he's not. Like,
is he even on the team?
He's in Hershey. I've watched him play. It's nothing to write home about.
Okay.
It's not even like it's like, oh my god, like this kid has potential. Like, dude,
right.
Keandre Miller. Let's look at Keandre Miller. Keandre Miller, 21 years old, is already like a second line defenseman. Adam Fox is 23. Charlie McAvoy is 23, 24. Like,
and Adam Fox is a Norris.
Yeah, like, no. I'm not saying you can't sing the kid's praises, but like, no. Next best thing,
no, but
I don't know.
Like, with the Kuznetsov thing, besides his 1 good year and then the whole shit he's got into, Samsonov hasn't had that 1 good year yet.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He just pissed everyone off too early. And then Alexiev, like, man,
also, for reference, Quinn Hughes is also 21. Just for Caps fans, like, this guy is the next bit.
because then they end
McCarr's
up,
22.
yeah. Oh, God.
Friendly reminder.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. No, because then at the same time, the last two draft years was fucking Connor McMichael and Hendricks Lapierre.
yeah,
And now, granted, I think one of them is going to work out well. I just
I
don't know
agree.
which one. But they are singing too much of the praise about both.
Yeah.
And there's only so much to show because they're still playing in junior.
Yeah.
So
Well, that for Samsonov, I mean, like, let's make this pretty apparent for all. All right, we're gonna look at 4 teams in this division. We're like the Caps, Islanders, Rangers, and Philly for this debate here. Carter Hart is 23.
Yep.
Georgiev and Shesterkin are both 25 on the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Sorokin is 26.
Yeah, he's young.
And Samsonov is 24. Would you say willingly that the guy you drafted in the first round, now Vanacek, I'm pretty sure was an undrafted player.
I believe so.
Okay. Would you say, now granted, everyone develops differently. Like Samsonov could come in this year and blow me out of the freaking water.
Right.
But like when you look at the other guys in the division and those 3 teams I just named, like, or 4, we can even count Georgiev as a backup. Like, I look at the other teams and say, okay, like these guys have like their star goalies, and I don't think any of the guys were drafted in the first round except for Samsonov.
Vitek Vanacek, 39th overall.
That's amazing to me.
Yep.
Okay, I was wrong, but still, you were drafted first overall, like first round pick. Like Rick Rodgers, like you were a first rounder. You should be ready to go. Spencer Knight already looks better.
Yeah. Well, then again, in fairness, 39th overall, he's an early second.
No, I'm talking about Samsonov.
Oh, Samsonov.
Yeah, he was like
he early
19th.
Yeah.
He was, dude. They were singing his praises. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you're right. Because that draft year was like,
yeah,
they wouldn't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Samsonov's 26. No, hold on, no, different Samsonov. I apologize. Yeah, no, yeah, he was a first round pick, and he is 24.
He'd be 20, 23 or 24 by now.
Yeah,
like, yeah,
22nd overall.
We got to do. We've talked about doing one of these in the past. I think we got to sit down and like really do it at some point. Goalies that get picked in the first round, sometimes they get their praises sung a little too high.
Oh, dude, you see my chart? I made a chart.
I've seen your chart. He did make a chart. It's a very interesting chart.
It's really fucking cool.
But like, okay, so back to your point about Spencer, though.
Yeah.
But like, carry on. I'm sorry.
Oh, like he's 20.
Yeah.
And he was drafted in the first round. He's out there making a name for himself. You were drafted 22nd overall. You have Sorokin, who was drafted Sorokin was drafted 78th overall.
Yeah.
Igor Shesterkin was 118th. Georgiev was not drafted. Now, this could say 2 things. Either the Caps have a terrible goalie coach, which to be fair,
kind of do.
Now, granted, the Rangers and Islanders both have probably 2 of the best, if not the 2 best in the league. Yeah. With Benoit Allaire and freaking who's the guy I love? Mitch Korn. Yeah. But like Vitek Vanacek looked good. So what's going on with Samsonov? So yeah, I have the Caps at 5. I don't see them actually jumping on board. Which
the Caps are weird. I can comfortably put him at 5. Yeah. I think the only thing that might stop them from being at 5 is if Ovi looks at his current overall career goal totals and goes, "Oh, I can beat Gretzky in like 3 years."
That's great, but if he's only hitting 50, let's say he misses, like he's going to miss time. He's not coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not going to.
So let's say if he somehow hits 50 goals this season, hats off. Let's say he hits 40. I mean, like that's still only 40 goals. Like you still need to score with the other guys. And now once again, other teams kind of realize that your goalies might not be the best and your defense might not be the best. And you might have a really good defensive coach.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're better than the other 4 teams above you. No. I think this is finally the year the Capitals kind of taper off.
I think so.
Especially if Ovi missing the first chunk of the year. I think that really is going to hurt.
Ovi not being there for what might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks is going to hurt him.
Yeah. All right. So
it's definite, but Capitals at 5 it is.
I have an answer for 4.
Is it the New York Rangers?
It's actually not.
Who the fuck? Is it the Penguins?
Yes.
Okay.
Older Tristan, I don't really think Tristan Jarry is all that. I think they haven't really done anything. I mean, Malkin's hurt every 38 seconds.
Yeah. So.
What else have they done?
The
They haven't.
problem is when Malkin is not hurt, Sid's hurt.
Exactly. They're just kind of at that. They're just kind of tapering off. They haven't really addressed anything. They still are rolling with kind of subpar defense. They're kind of their goalies are, Casey DeSmith looks good ish and Chari looks okay. But they haven't gotten anything on forward except for Brock McGinn. That's kind of the only
Brock
notable.
McGinn is,
And Danton Heinen, like that's weird fixes.
Makes only a little different. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
small.
just kind of every other team got better. They didn't. That's kind of my logic there.
Yeah. I think the thing with the Penguins is Sidney Crosby is aware that whatever gas he has left in his gigantic tree trunk thighs and tank, he doesn't have a lot of time left in his career.
Yeah.
So this is all they got left. Now with Penguins, like besides players, management, I'm personally glad that management was changed the way it was.
They're preparing. Like this is kind of like this is gonna be a terrible example. It's like this is like let's get your affairs in order. Like we're coming to the end here. Like very much like we're coming to the end of the Sid era. Like we already lost Fleury. Like we're gonna lose Gino. We're gonna lose Letang. Like it's the changing of guard, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Sid's gonna have to leave at some point.
Yeah,
they're preparing themselves for the future, and I think like with Hextall and Berkey, helm of everything.
Build around Gunsel, you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's the plan is just build around Jake Gensel.
And who's the guy who they had traded and then traded back for? Yeah, like I feel like those are you kind of two anchors, and you kind of
for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, even then they're getting kind of like Gunsel's already 27. I feel old. Wow, where have the years gone?
Gensel's 27.
Yeah,
he's 27 years old.
I believe I read that right, unless I'm horrible at reading things. He is a whopping 27.
So he was only 23 during the 2017 run.
Apparently his birthday is October of 1994. Let's confirm that because that hurts.
October 1994. Yeah, he'd be 27.
Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, no. Oh no. Oh no. No.
Gensel and Kapanen, maybe more Gensel than Kapanen, I'd say is the anchor of that team for the foreseeable future. Not too long, depending on how they want to rebuild the team.
Yeah.
Unless they go the Brian Burke method of like big, scary, and angry.
So. I feel a complete slash and burn coming from that team. I don't know when, like 2-3 years, it's gonna be just gone. Exactly. So I have them at 4.
Okay. I think we can put them at 4. I mean, okay.
I have it at my 3. It's pretty set.
Is your 3 the New York Rangers?
My 3 is the New York Rangers. I will.
Fuck. I would have slapped you.
I have
anything above that was.
I have reasonable expectations.
That's fine. I have reasonable expectations for the Red Wings not to be dead last.
That's fair. All right. Do you want me to go just kind of through my progression here?
Honestly, just go ahead.
I mean, I really like Shesterkin. I think he is the very much an heir apparent to Lundqvist. Mm-hmm. And if he's out, they literally have a starter behind him with Georgiev. They have the legendary Keith Kincaid in the AHL as a backup.
Yes, the man.
I mean, you look at what they did this offseason, their one problem, despite it was not just Tom Wilson. I mean, they played the Islanders. The Islanders would level them. I mean, like they play the Flyers and the Flyers would level them. I mean, like they played teams that just even the Penguins had more grit than us. That's kind of sad. Like the Blue Jackets are gritty. New Jersey was like everyone's gritty except for us. Yeah. Boston, like these teams we play a lot. Like all these guys have grit. We didn't have it. So, they went out and addressed that. There's enough talent to score goals between Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Strome. Then you go out and get Barclay Goodrow, 2-year Stanley Cup champion.
Barclay Goodrow's a pretty solid pickup.
Now, not that he's going to be like the guy, but like
No.
he at least be like, guys, this is what we got to keep working towards. Like he
Right.
has 2 cups. Like the guy has been there for a team that's missed the playoffs 4 straight years. That is a guy you want. I think under Gerard Gallant, like just watching player interviews and stuff, all the guys have basically said it's a very different feeling in the building
Yep.
than David Quinn era. Like, as they said, everything is a lot more simpler, a little bit more set up to play the guys' games. It's going to be a little bit better. I see Kako and Lafreniere taking big steps. I also think defensively, we have Nils Lundqvist coming up as opposed to Brendan Smith. We also went out and got Patrick Nemeth as a good third line,
Oh yeah, that's right. He was
just
there now.
behemoth of a man for our third line. And then, we got Jared Tenorti for more grit for fun. So, I mean, Streama, and we have Adam Fox, Norris winner. So,
The reigning Norris winner.
yeah.
Yes,
So
we know.
now I also had 3 because we're still, I don't,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's a fair place for us. I do think we're going to make playoffs. I'm genuinely serious. I do see the Caps and Penguins, if they're both going to be wild card teams, they make it. I do see the Rangers surpassing them. And I also see my number 2 team surpassing them.
All right. Before we get to this, because the fact that you said you have the Rangers at 3 for you,
That leaves 2 teams.
I was like, okay, that's 2. That leaves 2. And I said the Islanders are going to be there. And I thought about it for a second, and I went, wait a minute. That means Carolina's one of them.
Mm-hmm. I hate to admit it.
I bet you do because of the whole Tony D'Angelo thing. But
I don't even care about that. No, I just hate to admit because Carolina's now ticked me off. They're annoying.
they are very annoying. Honestly, they are really annoying. Okay.
Like it was funny at first. Now it's kind of getting old.
Okay. Right. Okay.
The offer sheet thing like really like was just a little too much for me.
That is the pettiest fucking shit in the world. It's
Yeah, like
funny when they did it, and then
like the first 30 seconds after like 3 days of the joke, it's like okay, now it's a little old.
What bothers me is that it worked.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
We'll get to this in a second. Okay, I'm gonna.
Who do you? I hate my thing, but I know it's probably gonna be end the way it does.
So do you have Carolina at 1?
I do actually, and I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Why?
Because tell me they're not going to be. I also don't know why I have a guitar set on my finger. Why am I wrong?
Oh, it's not that you're wrong.
It just sucks to be right. Yeah, trust me. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
I bet it does.
They are built really well. Now,
really well.
I will say, I think Freddie Anderson is a very good goalie. He looked very good in Anaheim. He looked very good in Toronto, despite what the fans might think.
Yep.
And I don't think he's worse than Mrazek. So I think they've only gotten better there. They brought in Antti Ranta as the backup.
Thank you. That was going to be my question.
Which is once again another solid enough goalie. If he might not be as good. He might not be as good as Mrazek. He's okay. I'd call him average. But with once again, you have probably the best defense in the league. Now, well, you lost
Dougie Hamilton.
You lost Dougie Hamilton and you got Tony DeAngelo and Ethan Bear.
Yeah.
So that's like the weird thing. It's like because DeAngelo is a very good. He's very much like he is all offense. There is no defense.
There is no defense in Tony DeAngelo.
He is a liability machine.
Yeah. You want someone to draw penalties? You want someone to take penalties? You send Tony.
Well, yeah, and he will score goals. He's just not. He will literally like go like, all right, I'm gonna be a winger, and it's like, okay, now you're like under the Rangers era of Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah.
It'd be like his defensive partner was Mark Stahl. So it's like Mark Stahl is alone on a 3-on-1. Like, guess what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Okay. So I am not saying you are wrong in putting Carolina at first, but I do start to see why you would put Carolina at first.
But the Islanders,
Dougie Hamilton might be a bit of a hit to the decor for a little bit of time. I don't know how long, considering they fucking still have Jacob Slavin and Brett Pesci. So
this is not. You're not wrong.
But at the same time, you on the other end of the argument is this fucking Islanders team that is just waiting.
Yeah, you also mean like veterans, like what do you want to call it? Like the retirement home? They're a very old team.
They are old.
They are very old. Like, dude, it is like, you played hockey for a while. You a veteran forward. Come on over here. Come to the Islanders.
That used to be the Red Wings.
Dude, Zach Parise is on this team. Like, that should be your indication. You got Andy Green at a solid 38 years old.
Green, the man they fucking
Dude, like,
love.
literally, it's like, you're above the age of 30. Do you play hockey? Come on over. We'll take you.
Okay, so I'm looking at cap friendly for the Islanders right now.
As am I.
Oh God!
Told you they're old, man.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude, I told you they're old. They are old.
Oh, that's not.
Wait, actually, they have not signed Zach Parise. Excuse me, they don't have Zach Parise at the moment.
Yeah, they do.
It says the UFA.
Oh, he is
Yeah.
UFA.
Regardless, they still need to fill the team. But, like, they're old, man. They are old.
The youngest forward they have is who? Matt? And that's it. Oh, no,
Wallstrom.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wallstrom is still an ELC, so
yeah. I mean, yeah.
But
It'll be interesting. I mean, it is a Barry Trotz-led team, and they do have Mitch Korn, so their goalies will be fine. I mean, they won the Jennings like a couple years ago. Like,
the Islanders is based off their last couple of years. Like, they have looked like a fucking unit.
yeah, I almost actually want to switch them with the Kings now. Now you have me doubting myself.
Yep.
I hate you. Why are you doing this to me?
You're fucking welcome. You know why? Because being right is great.
You're not wrong. You know what? You're right. Rangers at 1.
Wait, hold on. That's not what I was saying at all. Different New York team. Buffalo now.
We haven't talked to all of them yet. We're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to. No,
we're going to get through this entire thing
without trying to slander the Buffalo Sabres.
Exactly. We'll get to that.
No, like, look, I think the number one is honestly a toss-up between Carolina and the Islanders, because I feel like if Freddie Anderson, despite his health and the unfortunate backlash he got on his way out of Toronto,
dude, any player leaving Toronto, it's like, I hope the door hits you on the way out. Like,
yeah, right. And then they fucking win a Stanley Cup after they leave.
Hey, Phil Kessel looks happy as hell in Arizona. Actually, looks miserable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, apparently he's on the trading block in Arizona, so there's that too. But
because they're rebuilding, and they actually got a coach to help them with the rebuild. I'm actually so proud. They actually almost are doing things correctly. I'm kind of rooting for them.
The things with the Islanders is like they are the weirdest team in that. Yeah, everyone's old, but they love playing that slow style of hockey. The only fast person on that team is Matt Barzal, and even he can play fucking old timey slow hockey.
Yep.
To just make it work,
dude.
Now they also have signed Zdeno Chara,
I forgot about that. That's weird. That's what, dude. Told you, old folks' home. It is the old folks' home in the league.
Yep. Hey, Lou likes his old guys.
Hey man, he did this in New Jersey, and it didn't end well. No, he also has Barry Trotz now, so that does really help. I would put Trotz as probably the best coach in hockey.
I think Trotz makes the difference in that Islanders team, potentially taking first in the Metro.
I'm pretty convinced he's the best coach in hockey.
He probably is.
I would confidently say that, which I hate to admit.
At the same time, like, in no hate to Rod the Bod Brindamore, whose left bicep could kill me if it wanted to.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think the only problem that Carolina really has is ownership getting in the way. Ownership getting in the way is what caused them not wanting to pay Dougie Hamilton as much as he wanted.
I mean, they also let Nedeljkovic go for a bag of chips.
They literally let Nedeljkovic go for a 3rd-round pick and the rights to Jonathan Bernier, who they did not even sign.
Like, I'm not trying to be funny. He looked good in playoffs. Like, it wasn't okay. He looked good.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they lost to the Leafs or the Lightning.
Yes, they did.
It's like I hate that you lost to a team that was over the game. You also lost to a team that was like the winner.
You lost to a team that was the literal reigning Stanley Cup champion, who then went on to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it felt weird. The whole thing seems a little like weird.
And then for some reason, I I'm waiting for the day that Steve Eiserman writes a book about his life, or like someone writes a book about Steve Eiserman's life, and they talk about some of the trades and deals he's made as a GM, both in Tampa and here in Detroit. And I want to know how that fucking Nedeljkovic trade went down, because that is the fucking
I
weirdest
want to
thing.
imagine Steve egged him on, like, oh, come on, you can't win a cup with that guy. Like,
Probably. I mean, there's a running joke in Red Wings fandom on Twitter that Steve Eiserman just has blackmail evidence on like every GM in the league.
that wouldn't shock me. He seems like
And
that
so
kind of guy.
he just starts waving an envelope full of photos around at fucking what's the GM of Carolina? What's his name? Is it Don Waddell?
Oh, yeah, I hate that
Waddell.
guy.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
that
this is
guy.
the idiot who wants ads on jerseys.
Oh, that's right, he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just waving a fucking envelope of photos in front of Don Waddell and be like, "Hey, Donnie, I have all this incriminating evidence about you. All you need to do is give me Alex Nedeljkovic for
Yeah.
nothing. I will not give you anything. Literally nothing."
Dude, Carolina feels like it literally is like they're like, we're winning a cup. Like, they are very confident that like they're going out and getting a cup this year. That is very much the energy I
Carolina
have
is
from them.
so stupid because with like they
That is the energy they're giving off.
last year's squad, if Tampa didn't fucking shenanigan the cap, Carolina had no excuse of trying to beat Tampa.
Yeah.
Like, like we've talked about this already twice, but that fucking defense core was perfection. Goaltending, okay, sure. Reimer, Mrazek, and Nedeljkovic, kind of weird.
Ned was top 10 in every category last year.
Yeah, yeah, Ned was top 10.
I'm like 90% sure of that. I'll even
And
confirm.
and
Shit.
then the fact that your fucking forward line, your forward core, was made up of Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, Nino Niederreiter. A lot of alliterations in Carolina. They like their alliterative
They
names.
really do. I just
They
really.
do.
Oh, yeah,
You
sorry.
got the fucking demon child in Andrei Svechnikov. Like, how do you fuck this up?
Regular season, Nedeljkovic led in goals against average and save percentage.
Damn.
So, like, you know,
Yeah.
for reference, like Fleury was at 3 in both of those categories. Like,
Yeah.
the dude played really well.
He played really well. Granted, we did mention this already as well. He did have, the literal best defense core in the league.
Which, once again, did help. But, like,
Yeah.
are you that convinced that Freddie Anderson's going to come in and do that?
Well, granted,
A guy who's been hurt most of last year.
Yeah.
Which means, are you that confident in Antti Ranta?
Yes. The bright side is for both of them is that they still have a good defense core in front of them. All
Yeah, I do think Anderson's better than Mraz. Like, I just don't see him staying healthy.
No, I think Anderson's on his way out of the league at some point soon. He's on
He's
his way
old.
to retirement, but
He's like 33. 3 confidently said as he checks. 32. Wow, damn.
Okay, we're off by a bit, but
So is Ranta. Like, they're both older guys. Like, they are.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that those are the two they would pick. Now, maybe it's Ned wanted money, but they paid Anderson. What are you guys paying Ned?
We are paying him 3.
Yeah, they're paying Anderson 4.5. They're paying Ranta
Ned
2.
3.5.
Trust me, you're preaching to the choir here.
Ned wanted 3.5 to stay. Carolina
And
said no.
Detroit or Toronto's paying 3.8 for Mrazek.
Yep.
The whole thing felt a little weird.
It did.
I don't think, I'm not sure if they got better. That's the weird thing. Like, I actually kind of now starting to agree with you, which I hate.
Yep. See, I know you do.
All right, so Islanders at 1.
I'm telling you, because most teams either stayed the same, got maybe like a little better, or got somehow worse. And I feel like Carolina is in the stayed the same category.
I would say that you went a little down now. Not you bastard, you broke me. You have me mad now.
No, seriously, like, the Islanders, the only noticeable change they made was signing Chara.
Yeah.
That's it. Meanwhile, the fucking Carolina Hurricanes had the weirdest offseason.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Like, it's it's so hard to explain, but that's just how it's been.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. It, Carolina's a head scratcher. Honestly, I'm gonna put the Islanders at one.
I'm with you here.
Okay.
We will. I'll join you.
All right.
I'm gonna put the Rangers at 2. I'm kidding.
Please don't.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
So, ooh, man, this was a long
So
conversation.
do you want to review our top 4 for each division just to make sure we got?
Review top 4 because
All right.
is what's gonna matter.
So in the Pacific, we'll go 4 up. We got the Canucks, the Kraken, Oilers, Golden Knights. In the Central, we have the Blackhawks, the Wild, the Jets, the Avs. In the Atlantic, we have the Leafs, the Spencer Knights, or the Panthers, if you will, the Bruins, and then the Lightning. And then in the Metro, we have the Pens, the Rangers, the Canes, and the Islanders. It feels weird and right, and I'm happy with it.
I think
I'm pleased.
I'm content.
This might be our best list.
I think so because if you look at everything, it's everything. Every team seems logical to be in the place they're in.
Yes. Like if you really kind of go through and like nitpick, like you can get to where we got.
You can't really say you take the Atlantic for example. You can't unless you fucking are a Leafs fan, and if so, why are you? God.
Yeah, someone did it.
By the way, fucking go watch the Amazon Prime documentary. I heard it's good.
Oh,
I'm gonna binge it.
is it out now? Oh,
It's out.
fantastic.
Binge
I just drank coffee, so I'm wired. So I'll watch tonight.
There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
watch All or Nothing. I've heard
All right.
great.
All or Nothing. Fucking perfect.
What a fucking terrible name.
Oh, God, I love Toronto.
God. I can't see a world with the team that Toronto has. Look, okay. Austin Matthews might hit 40 something goals this season. Good for him. He's going to score a lot of goals. You guys are going to let in a lot of goals. Because your fucking decor is non existent. You didn't make any changes. You guys are still up against the cap. Your goaltending is skeptical. Jack Campbell is fine, but he's not elite. Peter Mrazek is okay, but he's not amazing anymore.
Yeah.
But if I hear an argument from someone, I'm going to hear an argument about this at school because fucking everyone around me is a Leafs fan.
Yeah, that's your problem.
2 people. But if I hear the fucking argument that they could take third over like the Florida Panthers, I doubt it.
I'm just so happy you hate the Leafs now. It just makes my life full of joy. I want you to know this, like from the bottom of my heart.
I bet.
Yeah, it really. I'm glad you've seen the light.
Like my buddies came over a couple weeks ago. We were hanging out. Like Pars was over, and like a few of our other.
I actually miss Pars. I really wish he was here.
I do too.
I need some.
It's Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, so
He makes me get a little more aggressive.
He does that to people sometimes.
He fires me up.
So he's busy. I'm starting to get busy, so we got stuff going on. But
Absolutely. Happy holidays. I should say that.
Thank you. The guys came over and we were just like hanging out in my house, and I have still to this day, I have not put my Kadri jersey back in my closet to put away for this season or for the beginning. It is hanging on the wall of my studio in my basement, and it has been hanging there since game 2 of the playoffs, and has not gone down.
I'm proud of you, man. I feel like I've helped you on a long journey.
I haven't taken it down. And
I remember, dude.
I stare at it for a second, and and people give me shit because they're like, "Why do you have a Nazem Kadri signed jersey?" Because he was the best player on that team for so long, and no one.
He really was.
No one appreciated Nazem Kadri, man.
Dude, the Leafs just are like, they don't appreciate it. It's like you have Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel in his prime was elite.
Was a monster, and you fucking morons could not appreciate him.
Yeah, you couldn't put anything around him because apparently that's hard.
Well, like I was telling a buddy this like a couple days ago. It was really funny, but I still have some Toronto friends that will legitimately walk up to me, and when we talk about hockey stuff, they're like, "Yeah, well, we won the Nazem Kadri trade." I'm like, "No, you fucking didn't."
I didn't. The Leafs.
The only reason you guys got Tyson Berry was not because the Leafs wanted to get rid of Nazem Kadri. That was not the reason. Yeah, they wanted to get rid of him, but they could have traded him to anyone else. Anyone else would have loved someone like Nas. The difference was the Colorado Avalanche had this fucking 20-year-old waiting in the wings to be their first line D man named fucking Cale Makar that they wanted to bring up ASAP, and they had to make space for. So what did they do? They trade Tyson Berry to the Leafs. They get a second line center out of it, Nazem Kadri, and they bring Cale Makar up. And what does Cale Makar do? He won the fucking Calder.
Yeah, now let's look at the other piece of that trade. Kerfoot is and then where's Barry again? Oh yeah, not in Toronto.
Not in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
considering
fun.
he only finished that season with 35 points, I believe.
Yeah.
He's not good. And he had like 60 something seasons.
He was one of the worst defensemen in the league that year. I remember this.
He was. He was.
He was bad.
He
We had other things to talk about. I'm drawing a blank on him.
I mean, now granted, the Leafs were in a weird pickle that year because Barry was dog shit in the Babcock time. And then when they signed Babsy, he was starting to look better under Sheldon Keefe, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. I feel bad for Sheldon Keefe because I feel like he gets too much shit for that team.
He does. And
I feel bad for him.
The crazy thing is he hasn't even coached a full season yet.
Really?
He still hasn't.
That's wild.
He only took over, I believe it was 12 games into the 2019-2020 season because Babcock's firing in November. So Keefe took over, so he didn't coach the full season. And then last season wasn't even a full season. So he hasn't even coached a full season yet.
You know, it's wild. That's unfortunate because they're still burning time because in 2020, the end of the 2023-24 season, Austin Matthews becomes UFA and he will go to the Arizona Coyotes. Tell me he's not going to Arizona. You tell me he's not going. They brought those jerseys back just for him.
They did.
They brought them back just for him. Like they probably sent him a like Matthews Kachina jersey.
For anyone that does listen and is a hockey fan, or you probably are listening if you are a hockey fan. I don't know why you wouldn't be, but you got to check this out. Fucking Dangle and his boys at the Steve Dangle podcast have been doing like predictions for every fucking team, all 32. They're doing season previews and everything, like 10 minutes each. And for the Leafs, I don't think it's been released yet. I think it's on Spotify right now. It might be coming out soon. But apparently, like with the Leafs, they made like a joke about them at some point. Oh, they were talking about Arizona. They were doing the season preview for Arizona, and one of his co-hosts, Adam Wild, just starts talking about like, yeah, you think they're gonna look good in a few years though? And fucking Steve Dangle, the fucking Leafs fan king himself, goes, yeah, when Austin Matthews is on the team and wins them a Stanley Cup, absolutely.
I'm telling you,
like, this is it,
dude. They know. That's the thing. I'm pretty convinced Arizona's like, sell, rebuild for 3 years, get Matthews as a free agent. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah,
they're preparing, dude. They're gonna get Shane Wright. Here's my. They're gonna get Shane Wright. They're gonna get Matthews. They're gonna just make beautiful goals happen all night, and it's gonna be just a wild time. And
probably.
I'm sure they'll end up somehow getting like a Vezina caliber goalie.
Fucking yeah, it just I think the reality needs to set into Toronto fans that like
that I've been right for the past 3 years.
I mean, yeah, besides that, but like all my friends that are Toronto fans, like I literally had an argument about this with one of my buddies, like the first week of school this year, where like I was walking into our faculty building, and I saw her, and we were just like catching up for a bit, just chatting and shit. And I was wearing my Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment mask that I have, right? And she was like, "What's that?"
I'm gonna order you a Red Wings one.
I need to get one. But she was like, "Well, what does that say?" It's like Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. You mean look for the Toronto Maple Leafs? And I'm like, yeah, it does. But you can notice that the logo is faded out because it fades out every time they lose in the first round.
That's
And she was
fantastic.
like, that's not funny. And I'm like, no, it's hilarious. And then someone else that was like hanging around with us, she's like, oh, it's okay. I'm an Oilers fan. And she was like, huh, imagine being an Oilers fan. And I look back at her and I go, imagine paying your forwards proper fucking money.
Yeah. I mean,
Shut
dude,
up.
all I'm gonna say is this.
Toronto
If
Maple Leafs.
you're cool, I will come up for the Heritage Classic. I'm vaccinated. I'm ready to go.
I'm planning it.
Okay.
Anton Parsons and I are talking about it. So
Okay, I'm ready. Like dude, bring me all of your
I
Leafs
think
fans.
Peter might drive up as well, so it'll be so much
Bring
fun.
me all of your Leafs friends. I will set the bar straight. I will gladly have this conversation.
Why the fuck not?
I got you on the better side, man.
Like, well, I remember, like, I was explaining to Anton still thinks I'm fucking crazy sometimes. I love him, but he still thinks I'm nuts because I'm like, dude, the Red Wings might actually win a Stanley Cup by the end of this decade. And
The
Anton's like,
Red Wings will win the
really?
Stanley Cup before the Leafs.
The Red Wings have won 4 Stanley Cups already before the Leafs.
Well, from now
From
forward,
now,
but
yeah,
yes,
from now.
obviously.
But
Like, yes, you all
like,
will win a cup by the end of the decade.
yeah, I'm like, there's a not a big possibility, but there's a possibility.
There are
Because
two teams I'm very confident in. There are two teams I'm very confident will win a Stanley Cup within the next 5 to 10 years. That would you.
Yeah, of course.
The
And
Rangers.
of course,
I mean,
I think
dude,
the Kings.
yeah.
I think the Kings could do it.
Kings are also up there. I think like
Kings
those three teams
no.
properly did the rebuild.
Right.
The Kings are
So
properly doing it.
here, man. See, we're done with the predictions, but this is like, I really tried going this whole episode without trying to shit on him, and I'm like, you know what? The gate's been open. I don't care.
Dude, it's really hard not to. It's so easy.
So long as we didn't talk shit about Buffalo, which I'm impressed. We've
Hey,
done
you
this
know what?
entire time without
Dude,
doing.
at some point you just feel bad. Like
You do. But that's the thing. You can at least feel bad for Buffalo. You can't feel bad for the Leafs because they are a laughing stock of a team.
the thing is, when Buffalo eventually decides to trade Jack Eichel, they're going to get a nice return. They're going to at least potentially kind of maybe set the path. Like they actually might get the ship kind of right side up.
They have Dylan Cousins and Jack Quinn. Work around that.
They could do it. I believe in them.
I believe in the Buffalo Sabres despite all the shit they put themselves through. But like, like
They can
I
get
told
there.
my friend this. I told so many people this because they were like, Yusuf, you're just a fucking delusional Red Wings fan. And I'm like, tell me right now who your best 4 prospects are in the fucking farm system of the Leafs. You don't have any.
I mean, technically, I can name one.
It's fucking Nick Robertson.
Yeah, and then what's the defenseman that starts with an L and an I and there's a J?
Liljegren?
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother pronouncing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he's still technically. I think they dropped him. Maybe they didn't. I don't know anymore.
Oh, I think he's still on the Marlies.
So it's like, yeah, I think he's on the Marlies. Like, I don't think he's on the Leafs. So it's like, I guess he counts.
Kinda. Rasmus Sandin's gonna be on the team, so like, he doesn't count anymore. They got this kid, Rodion Amirov. They got last year. He looks okay. He looks fine.
They're not
like the Leafs are so stupid in that like they could be so much better.
Well, they can't draft a goalie and they can't draft a defenseman.
Yeah.
And once again, like all of their best forwards. I mean, like they got Matthews first. They got Marner 4th overall. It's not like they got like it's not like they like wow, diamond in the rough here. Like
yeah, whoa.
and they're still missing it.
Like Nylander was still a fucking first or a second rounder. No, Nylander was a first rounder, wasn't he?
Hold up, because I just found where's the Nylander? Which Nylander? William, there he is.
Yeah.
He was a 8th overall pick.
Wow, 3 in the top 10.
Actually, his brother was also an 8th overall pick. That's kind of fun fact.
Alex Nylander was an 8th overall pick.
Yeah, it's really sad when you say it like that. Yeah.
That is really
Buffalo.
Weird. Right. Buffalo. But it's like at least the teams that are at the bottom of the barrel that we've talked about, some of them actually have like been smart with the rebuild. Some of them are about to start rebuilds. some of
No,
them are
like
Chicago that somehow gets themselves out of that pickle for a year and then goes to
we're biased, but we're not. Like
yeah, that's the other thing too. Is we're biased, but we're also not. Like I have had a like a low key Toronto bias for so long, but I am fucking sick now after that last playoff game run. Run, I say run. Yeah, they ran back home. That's what they fucking did. Oh my god. Like at least I, as a Red Wings fan, can have faith in Steve Yzerman
yeah,
in that look, he's only been around 2 years now. This is going to be his third season with the team. Wait, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, this is only his third season with the team. As of next week, it'll be his third official season with the team. In 2 years, he has already cleared out all the old contracts from the Ken Holland era.
yep,
Abdelkader's gone. Okay. Franz Nielsen's gone. Luke Glendening is gone. Danny DeKaiser is probably the last one of that old guard to be gone.
yeah.
But he's, still okay, I guess, despite back problems. This man traded who we thought would have been our star winger in Anthony Mantha, got Jacob Vrana back for it.
Which I thought was a great trade.
Looking at it now, I'm happy. I love Mantha, but I'm okay with it. There's rumor that Ty Bertuzzi's next. And
I like him still.
He's fine. He hasn't been vaccinated.
See, that's an interesting thing about the Devils. That's why I have them below the Blue Jackets on our list. Their goalie is not Blackwood. Their starting goaltender is not. No, and they literally this has already been talked about. He cannot go to Canada.
No one.
So
they can. Tyler Bertuzzi can't.
At the very least, you play one game in Canada for each team you play. So I mean, he's at least missing 7, 8 games, 6, 7, probably 7 games.
You play one game in Canada for each game you play, unless you're in the division with them. Then it's gonna be
no. There's none in the Metro, so it's okay.
None in the Metro. Well, yeah, you have.
So you still play.
It's always gonna be one home and one away game.
So you play the Oilers, you play the Canucks, you play the Flames, you play the Jets, you play.
That's 7 games.
Yeah, you've missed 7 games. Now, not saying that's going to make or break you, but 7 games is a lot. Not that I don't have any faith in Bernier, but
7 games is a lot. Where Calgary, Ottawa, Montreal, maybe Vancouver are easy points to get.
Well, imagine you have back-to-back games. So what? Your star guy, Bernier's got to play both, or you bring up a prospect
Do they have
who Wedgwood? I believe is their
yes. Scott Wedgwood.
Wedgwood, yeah, man.
I don't know. That the vaccination thing really makes things difficult.
Well, I know the Rangers are supposed to be at 100% by opening night, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, Red Wings are going to be at 99% because Ty Bertuzzi just hasn't gotten vaccinated at all.
Yeah, I think the entire the Rangers will be fully ready to go by opening night. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's going to make a whole debate for whether or not Tyler Bertuzzi makes good trade bait because it'd be nice if he was still on the team, but at the same time, I know the Leafs were after him.
That's so Toronto.
Yeah, it's so Toronto. It's solid forward that missed literally 3/4 of a season because of back injuries. Yeah, we'll take him.
That's Toronto. It's okay. They're going to pay him 8 mil, guaranteed.
They're going to pay him $7 million.
Yeah.
Except then he has to get vaccinated because then he can't even fucking enter the country.
I'm amazed Tony DeAngelo did. I'm blown away by that. That surprised the shit out of me. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this whole thing. I don't know if we're gonna want to talk about this. It's already kind of late.
I mean, I don't sleep.
I know you don't. I need to stay up and finish assignments anyways. So maybe. We can quickly talk about this.
Yeah, there you go. That's the spirit.
Vaccine stuff was mentioned. What the fuck is Evander Kane doing?
I don't know. Evander Kane's fun to watch. I mean, I feel bad for everyone in his life, but he does bring very high entertainment value.
So to catch people up on the Evander Kane stuff, first was the gambling debt.
There was the gambling debt. Then there was the betting on his own team.
There was the fact that the gambling net
Betting
caused
against his own team, actually.
yeah, the league basically threw the hammer down and said, "Hey, Kane, whatever money you are making from your contract is not going to you now. It's going to the banks. You can fucking repay your debts." Okay. And then there was the betting on his own team thing. There was the supposedly just leaving his wife and unborn child and newborn child just alone while shit was getting repossessed while he went to go fucking gamble in the UK or in Europe or some shit like that.
Yep.
And if somehow, and then he claimed that none of it was true, and that is
Despite evidence.
despite evidence, and that his ex-wife, but still married to wife, he claims that she is making everything up to ruin his career. Man, I didn't know being a former Atlanta Thrasher draft pick would mean you have a career, but okay, sure.
Damn, that was how.
But
I mean, he left. He left.
yeah, but he's also good. So
He
there
was.
that.
He was special, and he
was
screwed it up.
Unreal. And now there are claims, and again, this is alleged because nothing's been proven yet. Because, of course, not that he has been using a fake vaccination card,
Which just feels so Evander.
It does.
It just feels like what he would do.
And the thing with Evander Kane, like, he's never been a good guy.
Well, he never won it. Like, he won it out of Buffalo. Like, he complained his way out of Buffalo. He complained his way out of Winnipeg. Complained his way out of Buffalo. Like, it's like, I don't know why the Sharks wanted him. The Sharks like this guy. Is like, you know what? That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just looked at him and said, you know what? Diversity.
Like, dude, he was not a great player.
No.
At any point was he like, wow, this is a guy you want.
Also, the fact that Evander Kane was part of the whole the diversity alliance in the NHL. That's kind of awkward.
It was an interesting, like, I know why he was, and I respect him for being part of it, but I feel like he's not someone you want as your role model.
No, not
because yeah, it's not a good look. Some of the stuff he does. Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. I don't know if he had stepped. Okay, well, the alliance cut ties with the NHL already, so it was fast.
That doesn't shock me.
No.
You mean the league that's playing hockey is for everyone, but yet is still incredibly the same NHL it's been for the past 100 years?
Yeah, exactly. It's not changing yet.
No.
Like Quentin Byfield being drafted.
Slowly but surely, we will get there.
The closest thing we have to change right now, but it's starting.
It'll get there.
But the problem is, then you have people like Evander Kane that are part of that alliance, and you're not making a good name for yourself or your colleagues, Evander.
Yeah, like you watch like Matt Dumba go out and make a really powerful speech, and you're like, all right, I'm here for this. And then like you watch a guy like, you watch like Ryan Reeves like go out in public and like help people out. And like you watch all these other guys like this is awesome. And then you like watch like Evander and it's like, hey, he's gambling. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
like against his own team.
What was it? Evander Kane has not. I think he shares the record for most penalty minutes in a season, but also scoring 30 goals.
That's incredible.
With like Tiger Williams or something.
That's wild.
He has like 300 penalty minutes and 30 goals in one season.
That's wild. Honestly, it's kind of impressive.
Some dumb number. It is actually really impressive when you think
it's
about it.
Kind of, yeah, it really is actually. Also,
fun. He's under investigation for the whole COVID thing.
That's interesting. Fun fact for you, completely unrelated. Ryan Reeves owns a brewery.
Dude, really?
Yeah, we need to go to Vegas. That's all I'm hearing, dude.
It's in Vegas? Okay, cool. Oh, interesting. Evander Kane just sold his home in California.
I mean, I don't think he's playing for San Jose this year.
I don't think he's playing in the league.
That's accurate. That's a fair statement.
Okay, not 300, but 20,
I'm going to
30 goals and 153 penalty minutes.
I'm trying to find the thing.
His career high, by the way.
Please, I'm going to find this stupid thing about the coach of the.
I lied. I need Evander Kane to play one game this season and get 12 penalty minutes because he is 12 penalty minutes away from 1,000.
Is he really?
He's 12 penalty minutes.
That's fantastically.
Is this NHL total? Yep. He's 12 penalty minutes away from 1,000 NHL minutes.
Did you say one game?
No.
You wanted to play one game and pull that? I mean, it wouldn't
Yeah,
shock me.
he could pull it off in one game.
He totally could.
Get two 5-minute majors, and I'm fucking and a minor, and you're done.
That's New York. I'm trying to find this. There's New York Jets stuff.
Or just fucking rack up all the holding penalties you can.
Where is this, man? Where is this stupid thing? I know I saw it.
Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for the thing about the Canadians GM.
About Bergevin?
Yes.
Honestly, that's gonna take a while to find. We can find that after we finish recording the show. That being said, we should probably end the show here because I don't want to talk about Evander Kane anymore.
I don't feel it. There's so much.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll be back soon because
This league is a fun place.
Fun hellhole sometimes, but it's a
Yep.
sport we love. So,
Absolutely.
That's what we do. But this has been Up the Boards. You can always find us on YouTube. Be sure to find our boys of the Sporticulation podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Yeah, fucking, this is so stupid. This league is actually so hilariously stupid sometimes. I'm Yusuf.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm tired. All right.
Fuck the Leafs.
That too.